What is going on, everybody? Welcome to another episode of the Yamcast. Today is episode 43?
41.
41. I'm in the future now, unfortunately.
Yep.
We're going to do 43 at some point, but today it's 41. Today we're talking about Marc Marquez's return to MotoGP. The guy's back on a bike. We're going to talk about that. We're also going to render our opinion on Fort9's oil video. It's been catching a lot of steam lately. I've been seeing a lot of comments on my YouTube about it, so we're going to talk about that. And we've also got a fun little tidbit from today that happened on one of our shoots. Then, of course, we have the call-in section where we're going to be sharing embarrassing rider stories. That's going to be a good one. And then at the end, we've got a meme contest as usual, whereas I'm once again on the chopping block for the memes, unfortunately. Let's get into it.
Premier story.
Flagship news.
Flagship news. This is news that I had a feeling was coming.
Baby aliens back at it again.
Back at it.
God damn, man. So Marc Marquez is back on track on a Honda RC213 VS. We've known this was coming for a little bit now. I've been following Marc Marquez very closely on Instagram and all the other sources I can find, and it seemed like from one day he was on a mountain bike to the next day he was on a mini moto to the next day he's on a full competition spec street machine. It's kind of crazy seeing him back in action and doing his thing, but I kind of think that Josh had a great point about this earlier where he said that I think that they were sandbagging Marc and they've had this whole like kind of rollout planned and kind of, I think what they're doing is they're psychologically playing games with the rest of the paddock. They're just like, look at him out of nowhere, he's back on a bike, you know?
They were probably keeping him like under wraps a little bit. Like, you know, okay, we know you're doing okay, but just take it easy on the like getting ready sort of stuff. Don't post about it. We want you to just show up in the paddock, play mind games with everybody. Yeah, just kind of like old school Rossi stuff with the like foot down whole situation. How he just changed the field, sort of deal. Yeah,
he just started doing it. People are like, why is he doing? He's like, I don't know. It just feels good. They're like, well, it feels good to me too. We're just gonna do it then.
So I guess that's the theory. But I mean, it's just so cool to see him back.
It's so great. Yeah. I mean, the guy's a top dog right now, man. I think there's still that little bit in everyone's mind where it's like, oh, you're only one because Marquez wasn't there, you know? Yep. And now 2021 is going to be the year. But unfortunately, I still don't think he's going to be competitive this year, personally.
I think it would be unwise for him to come in and just be like, unless they've really been quiet on his recovery.
Yeah.
And suddenly he's just like, he's the same old Marc Marquez. Because if he goes down and he's not quite there again.
Oh, dude.
I mean, you've only got so many in you.
Yeah. Cal Crutchlow can tell you that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I really think that right now Marc Marquez he's literally on the precipice of greatness, you know? Like, he is 8-time world champion. All he has to do is snag 2 more, and he'll be 10-time greatest of all time, rack up some more podiums and some wins, and then retire at like age 31 or 32 and be like, I'm the best there ever was. And that's it. I did it, you know? But if he screws it up now, if he screws it up at 8 times and never gets another world championship, Rossi's literally just going to laugh himself to death.
Yes.
He'll be like, yep, whatever. Like, I did it. I lasted longer and I got my 9 times. He's so close, man. Marquez is so close right now. It would be such a shame at the age of 28 to just throw it away.
What if this is the wreck and recovery that recalibrates him, like matures him?
Yeah.
So you have his like raw talent and hard work, but with the brain of a more adult racer.
Yeah, I mean, you'd hope so. I thought that after 2015, that was going to be the year that he's like, all right, you had like 5 DNFs. Let's take a step back. Let's think about it, you know?
Yeah, but I mean, he didn't have to spend the rest of the season off the bike.
It's true. You know? But, you know, there's a common saying in the paddock that I've heard before that it's easier to slow a fast rider down than it is to speed up a slow rider. You know, so for Marquez, I think throughout his career, it was like, all right, this guy's lightning fast. All we got to do is just keep that lightning in a bottle so that it doesn't just blow up. Yeah. You know, he's always been like that. He's always ridden like that. Always at the edge of just being outside of control, you know. But it's going to be great seeing him back on the grid. I think, personally, he's going to still miss Qatar 1 and 2. I don't think he's going to make it for for Doha 1 and 2. What do you think?
It depends, man. It depends.
You think he'll race?
He'll probably free practice for sure. He'll free practice.
Yeah, just to get some of that sneaky preseason testing in, right?
Yeah,
because they're so careful about when and how and where they're allowed to ride the GP bikes.
Yeah.
Like what is it? I don't remember if it was Rossi or Quartararo that got in trouble for riding a bike that was too close to the GP spec on the off season or something like that. They're so anal about riding bikes that are close to GP spec.
Which is why he's on the 213V, which is the street version of the GP bike.
Yeah, he can't be on the GP bike at that track. It's illegal. Yeah.
Which is kind of crazy when you think about it.
To me, it's just crazy that they're just like, all right, Marc, here's the track all to yourself. Here's the bike. Just, you're Marc Marquez. Do whatever you want.
Yep.
I mean, just roll out the red carpet, right?
Imagine if you could just have some of these like world-class tracks all to your lonesome.
Oh, my God. I mean, for Marquez, it's just doing exhibition laps, right? Like, he's the best in the world. But, yeah, for me, it'd be like, oh, he's doing Moto 3 times on 1,000. So, yeah, I'm doing my best. Yeah, that'd just be amazing to live that life. But, I mean, he's looking in good form. I mean, I didn't think he would look this strong on the bike already. But the dude's ridiculous. Like, I mean, say what you will about Marquez. Like, he's baby alien for a reason.
Yep.
He's probably the most talented human to ever be on 2 wheels. So, here you go.
And this is, if he grids up at any point in the first 2 races, people are going to be so aggressive in showing that they're better than him now.
Yeah,
like
absolutely.
That's kind of why
he's going to get pummeled.
Oh, he's going to be target number 1.
Yeah.
Because they're like, oh, we're not going to let you get back into form because we know that if you do that, you're going to walk away from everybody. But if he does grid up, he's probably going to have a really hard couple of races.
Yeah. You want to know a crazy statistic? I believe, if I remember correctly, Marc Marquez, throughout his career, you could flip a coin on whether or not he was on a podium on a given race.
Wow.
Half the time he was on the podium on any given race weekend.
Wow.
Yeah. So, I mean, he's got nothing to prove, really, but he's going to have to come back. All these guys are stronger now, stronger than ever, but he's fucking Marc Marquez. You saw what he did in that first race in 2020.
Yep.
I mean, he went to 16th place and then clawed back almost to 3rd.
Mm-hmm.
I mean...
But it's a different field this year now.
It is.
The GSX-RR is the bike to beat.
Yeah, Quartararo's got a tattoo of himself. Anything's possible, man. Anything's possible.
I think that's going to be the real line in the sand is when the next racer starts getting his own like full back tattoo of his face.
It's not okay. It's not okay. It's not okay.
Stop, Fabio.
Why, Fabio? Yeah, so we're excited to see Marc Marquez. We're going to see here in a week and a half how he does at Qatar, and hopefully he races very soon. We're looking forward to it.
Absolutely.
Yeah. All right, next up on the docket, we've got to talk about this Fort 9 video.
Yes, we do, and we don't actually have anything for you guys to look at here, so...
It's just pure conjecture, but you and I both watched the video.
Yes.
And people have added us and comment to us about it all the time.
Yes.
Because a certain brand was number 1, right? The brand we will not say, Royal Enfield. And here's the thing. Let me get your take on it. How did you feel about the video upon watching it?
So... It was a little shocking to me to see Royal Enfield at number 1 in terms of particle. So it's important for those people who don't know exactly what he was measuring. They were measuring the particulate in the oil for the first service. In theory, that means that the engine was made clean.
Yes.
And therefore, people are extrapolating that it's more reliable,
or
more
better,
oil tight, or better. But it is worth pointing out that on a lot of these higher horsepower motorcycles that first of all, if I pick at his scientific method just a little bit, the engines were not the same for each bike.
Yeah.
So a big Harley V-twin, yes, it's a twin cylinder versus a Royal Enfield twin cylinder, but a Japanese inline 4 and a Japanese V-twin are definitely going to be made to different standards. So if I may niggle his scientific method just a little bit.
Yeah. Tread carefully, Fort 9 is beloved.
But I'm not saying he did it bad because you could infer that if one engine is made that way, they make all engines to the same standards.
Yeah.
But you never know. But beyond that, it made sense in my brain that the Chinese motorcycles were going to be hard to pass.
Yeah.
And that the Italians were going to be a little bit rough. That's what we call character.
Yeah. I mean, if you think about it, no Chinese industrial, sector is really that clean or made that great. Nothing that comes out of China is made to a super high standard. That's why they can pump out so much stuff, without getting into the topics of global trade here. But there's a reason why China is the manufacturing hub of the world. It's because they usually can make stuff cheaper, faster, and usually quicker, and by all those metrics, usually dirtier than anywhere else. China is the number one polluter in the world, I believe, right?
Yeah.
But the thing that I struggled with the video to really correlate is that a lot of people were dogging on our Aprilia RS660 we've got and some of the Ducatis we've done and stuff. They're like, oh, it's unreliable. But I don't really see the correlation between particulate in the first oil service and overall reliability of the engine. That's a hard thing to say that one equals the other.
Literally all he was testing, all that information showed is which engine lost more crap in it.
Yeah.
And you could theorize that big particles, like he said, would cause scoring, deep scoring, or might get mashed up in the gears and so forth.
Yeah.
What you're really going to see in that instance is not like your piston is going to fall off or your crankcase is going to crack. What you're going to see is deep scoring in your cylinder walls, slightly lower compression, more oil loss, less power, that sort of thing.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that's not saying that one engine is necessarily better than another.
Yeah.
Or that it's going to be more reliable. It's just you have a better chance of maintaining that targeted factory compression setup, essentially.
And the important thing to remember, too, that I think a lot of people glossed over in that video was that 8 out of those 10 or 12 bikes cleared the standards set by the Germans. So as long as you're below that target number, it's already a good enough cleanliness in the factory, right?
Yep.
But, hats off to Royal Enfield for having clean oil from the factory. I know they've done a lot of work and they want to put out a good product. All they got to do is increase the compression ratio a little bit, make a little more power, right? But, if it's so clean, crank up the juice, right?
Yeah, I mean, that's another thing, is suddenly Royal Enfield is at the top of the list because they've got a clean engine?
Oil?
No. You still have to deal with a lot around that engine. If the frame sucks, we learned this kind of with the Sportster. It doesn't matter how much power you put into it.
Yeah.
It's got to be, you can't steer it. You can't have the same kind of fun that you would with a, well-built, well-thought-out frame.
Yeah, and the thing is, like, Royal Enfield still pumps out motorcycles that have a 40-year-old design, 50-year-old design. So they're not going to feel super modern. They don't feel up to par of some of the Japanese bikes. And that's kind of what we clown on Royal Enfield for. We don't say that they're bad bikes. I'm sure they're perfectly fine bikes, but for the type of money and what you're getting out of them, it's very similar to a Harley buyer. You just have to co-sign on what it is, and you're accepting that you're buying a Royal Enfield for a Royal Enfield. You're not buying it for anything else. But I thought the engine oil thing was a bit dubious to say that, well, now Royal Enfield's it's obviously the best. It's the most reliable and all that stuff. Because based on reliability studies that I've seen that we've done videos on, that's not necessarily true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm sure it's changed in the last couple of years.
Yeah.
I'm sure they've improved. I mean, especially with the push to make the Himalayan this like super affordable adventure motorcycle that's going to be reliable and get you through the Himalayas, which was the goal of that bike. I'm sure it's improved a little bit, but I don't think it's top tier yet.
Yeah. And I am log here on chat says something interesting is you might have also different oil filters.
Yeah.
Right? That's very conceivable. So yeah, I think it was an interesting video, but I think people are drawing a bit too many conclusions out of it, So
here's the real question.
Yeah.
Which was more impactful? Fort9 saying that Royal Enfield has clean engines, or Arian Zach saying that the Gixxer K5 was as good or better than a V4?
That's tough. Well, time will tell because Fortnine's video is already up to, I think, 300K, and I'm getting so many comments on the Aprilia videos about how Aprilia sucks and it's unreliable. I'm like, where's this coming from? I was like, that's that damn Fortnite video.
Yep.
But I think Ari and Zach emboldening the squids was a worse crime against motorcycling than what Fortnite did. I never heard the end of it with those Gixxer squids last year, man. Oh, my God. It was like anytime we post anything about the Ducati, they're like, oh, my old Suzuki can beat it. I'm like, no, it can't. Fuck off.
I think they really did a disservice when they glossed over how much stuff went into that Gixxer that Ari built.
Yeah.
Because it was a proper
They glossed
setup.
over that a lot. I was like, I see a Motion Pro, I see a Brembo RCS, I see this, I see that, I see London, I see France. Yeah, they did a lot of stuff to that Gixxer, but yeah, I think that was a worse crime against motorcycling than Fortnite's video. They had a responsibility before putting that out. They didn't understand that. They don't know the Gixxer squids like we know them, They don't get it. Oh, man.
Because if one bike did it, all bikes could do it.
All bikes can do it. Any Gixxer can beat any Ducati now. That's it. That's there you go. A 15-year-old Gixxer is just as good as a brand new Ducati. Everyone knows that. Yeah. Anything else you want to say about this Fortnite video?
No, I think we just need to be sure that when you're out there commenting about it, you understand that it's qualified.
Yeah.
It is a qualified thing. It's not all encompassing.
Yeah.
It's just one aspect of one engine.
Yeah. And it was a cool video,
Yes.
No one's been able to pull oil samples and send them to a lab from all these different bike makes. It was an interesting video, but be careful with the conclusions you draw based on one little sample size on one video and one thing, it's a bit of, don't go too far with it. But anyways, on the last bit of the docket here was what happened with us today, right?
We had a little bit of an adventure.
Had a little bit of adventure like we always do. So we've got a fun video coming out later this week. By the time this video comes out, yeah, this Friday will be coming out on this video. We've got a rival bike that's going to be challenging the Gixxer 250. Now, if you guys saw Yamcast in the past, we were going to buy a crap bike off of Craigslist, and we literally chatted with all the different people, and we could not get anyone to hit us back on these shit bikes. $1,500 Buells, $3,000 scooters. It didn't matter what. We literally couldn't get a bike.
The only guy who got back to us reliably was the scooter guy.
Yeah.
And that guy was like, yeah, I mean, the scooter's worth $3,000.
Yeah.
And I did the research, and it was worth $3,000.
And we're like, that is outside of our budget. I'm so sorry.
Yep. And then I did hear back from the Buell Lightning guy, the Lightning Bolt Buell. But that guy surfaced for air once a week. And in between then and, his next resurfacing, I could not get any information out of him.
Yeah, no.
So it was
they all
impossible to
got
find
abducted
this guy.
by aliens, dropped dead, or went back down to the Mole Kingdom underground. We don't know. But anyways, we took a minute and we said, wait a minute. We've got the perfect crap bike right in front of us. Your DRZ. So the DRZ was elected as the bike we're going to do. You guys are going to see that video this Friday. But we were out riding it around today, completing some challenges, doing some fun videos with it. And we were getting ready to head back to the shop when all of a sudden the DRZ just said, nope.
Nope. It just died.
It literally just died. And when I say died, it's not like, oh, it sputtered. It literally just turned off and would not turn back on. The lights nothing would turn on. It was completely dead. Mm-hmm. And so we had a suspicion something, a ground came off or a wire touched a wire that shouldn't. And lo and behold, whenever I got my truck, came back, picked you up, came back to the shop, you took it apart, and a 20 amp fuse blew up on it.
The one fuse on the DRZ is the main fuse, and it's a 20 amp fuse.
Big boy.
To blow a 20 amp fuse, something got to go real bad.
Maybe you got hit by lightning. You didn't realize it.
So I guess my current operating theory is that we have a flat short across the harness somewhere. There's got to be two wires that are exposed and touching or grounding out to the frame early.
Yeah, so thankfully, what's really cool about this project is we're partnering up with Partzilla for it. And so we're going to fix up Spite's DRZ wholesale, new wiring harness, basically refresh the whole thing as if it was a Craigslist crap bike, which It kind of is.
It's exactly a Craigslist crap bike.
It really is, yeah. It's got so many of the same weird gremlins that a Craigslist crap bike would have, you know?
I still have the original photos from it. I saved them on my phone, and I still have them from the ad on Facebook.
Yeah.
It's actually from Facebook.
Yeah, yeah.
And it was nasty when I first got it.
Yeah.
It's a lot better than it was, but it's far from perfect.
I still remember when you rocked up to my place with it. You're like, I bought a DRZ. And as you got closer, I was like, that ain't no DRZ. I was like, what is that thing? I was like, what'd you get this for? And you're like, $2,400 or something, right?
It was like 20. It was 23.
23. I was like, wow.
Guy wanted $3,000 for it, and I was like, That's a $1,500, $1,800 bike right there.
Yeah.
And he's like, I got legal fees.
I'm like, I'm sure you do.
He didn't even have a license. He never registered the motorcycle.
Wow.
So he was just running it dirty for years. And he was like, I love it, man. I don't want to get rid of it.
Yeah. That's amazing.
Sure you do.
Yeah. So anyways, the DRZ's spectacular, interesting adventure is going to go live this Friday. It's our new challenge bike. It's going to be a ton of fun. If you guys want, on our Discord server, we're going to be putting up 2 separate challenger channels where you can pick either the Gixxer 250 Scrambler as your one entrant or the DRZ as your other entrant. We're going to make some fun videos around that. I'm really excited for that. We're going to make the DRZ beautiful again.
Yeah, it's going to be a lot of fun. It's going to be a community build. I want to try and recapture some of that Hentai Hornet energy from back in the Discord's early days.
Yes.
Those were some great, just some great conversations around bikes back then.
Which, by the way, the Hentai Hornet is also making an appearance on the channel once again. The Eric, the winner, he is going to be rolling through here in Austin, Texas, and he was like, "Hey, do you guys want me to bring the Hentai Hornet around?" We're like, "Yes, that
absolutely
sounds awesome." I can't wait to see that bike, man.
I can't. It probably. Oh shoot! That had like 20,000 miles on it. He's put another 10. He's probably put another 5 since he told me he put another 10 on it.
Yeah.
That bike has just seen a ton of miles.
And it just keeps going.
And it still has the hentai paint on it.
It still has the original. Oh man, I can't wait to see it again because I literally only saw it that final time that I had the shop fix it up, and that was it. Then it got carted off and taken out to Tampa.
Never got to ride it in all its glory.
I never got to ride it, so I'm thrilled to see it, and I'd be thrilled if you let me ride it, but, we'll see. Anyways, guys, that's going to wrap up our news and catch-up section. We're not going to move over to the call-in part of our podcast. Stick around. Alrighty, everybody. Welcome to the call-in portion of our podcast. We do these through our Discord members. If you want to join up and have the chance to call us in when we do these live for our Discord members, feel free to hit the link down below to yammie.co, become a member, and you can hang out on our Discord server and join up on these calls. So for now, we're going to let everyone know that you got to right-click Spite's name or press and hold Spite's name on Discord, and you can give us a call right there on Discord. Hey there, I am Log. You're on the Yamcast. How's it going? So we are sharing embarrassing beginner rider stories. Do you have one?
I got a doozy for you.
I'm excited.
So first started out on a dirt bike, TTR 125 LE, which has way too much power for a 10-year-old, who's when I got it. And I couldn't touch the ground. My ankles hit the foot pegs. That's how short I was at that point.
Oof.
Wow.
So whenever I had to start off, I had to stand on milk crates to get going.
And then hope to God you don't stop.
Well, no, when I wanted to get off, come to a stop, I just came to a stop and just either had to catch myself and lay the bike on the ground. Because I couldn't touch the ground, so I couldn't lean over. And it was, still popping wheelies, jumping the bike, still couldn't touch the ground.
Mm-hmm.
So if I had to get back on it, it was kind of like a running start, run along and just try to hop on it.
Yeah, just like a race bike, My question is, who gave you as a 10-year-old the TTR 125? That's a lot of bike for a 10-year-old.
My parents, as a Christmas gift, both me and my brother.
Wow.
So we had to share the bike. And he was younger and shorter than me.
Jeez. Yeah, so TTR,
he was
just hoping for the best, trying to not fall on it. That's pretty good. That was your first exposure to motorcycles?
Yep.
That's pretty good. Yeah.
Yep. And then I think probably 3 years later went to a 250. Now I could touch the ground, so I kind of felt more comfortable with the bigger bike.
Yeah. Mm. It's always that seat height's all important,
Yeah. I wish I was able to start out riding bikes at 10 years old.
Me
That would
too,
have been
man.
fun.
Got started way later in life.
Yeah, unfortunately, I grew up in the middle of downtown Chicago, so there's not a lot of places to take a 10-year-old kid out to go ride a dirt bike.
Could have ripped wheelies with those other downtown Chicago guys.
We got to tread lightly on that one.
We got to be careful. Yeah, we can't say that. All right, I'm Log. Thank you for the beginner rider story. I appreciate it, man.
All right, no problem.
All right, see ya. Hey there, Levi. You're on the Yamcast. How's it going?
Doing all right. Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Awesome. So last year, right before the pandemic started getting crazy, I had started writing. And basically, I was over at my buddy's house, and he had a little 250, a Yamaha Virago 250.
Sick.
And so I hopped on it and took it down a dirt road because he lived on a dirt road, and it had some really old tires. My clutch hand slipped, and I went down pretty hard.
Damn.
And so I wrecked pretty bad, and that was like the first experience I had without my dad right next to me, because he kind of taught me how to ride or whatever.
Uh-huh.
And that was one of the most terrifying things ever. And then since that was the beginning of the pandemic or whatever, I had the stimulus coming a week later, and so I had to pay my buddy the $1,200 because he was already looking at selling it.
Damn.
I paid him the full $1,200 to buy it.
Now, if I'm not mistaken, this is the Virago that you showed us a long time ago that had the straight black plumbing pipe handlebar.
Yeah.
Yep, that's the one.
That's good memory, Spite. That explains a lot more about the bike now, doesn't it? You omitted some of those details when you showed us that bike.
Uh-huh. And now I've got and then last September I was changing the gears and the chain to get a little bit more speed out of it because I'm a big guy.
Mm-hmm.
And when I adjusted it, I forgot to tighten up the axle nut all the way.
Oh no.
Whoopsie doodles.
And so I had my actual tail light was one of those plate holder tail lights. And so it drooped down, and the line ran, like the tire ran on the side of the wire and shorted out like the whole wiring harness.
Oh my God.
So now I've got a project.
Here's the thing. That Virago wants to die, and you should let it die. It wants to clearly not be part of this mortal coil anymore. And so just let it go.
I've got to fix it and get the money. I've got to fix it and get something out of it.
It already gave you a lot, all right? You say get something out of it. It's given you a lifetime of experiences and fun, man.
Yep.
All right. Well, thanks for the story, man. I appreciate it.
Uh-huh. Bye.
See ya. Germany 2 boy, you are on the Yamcast.
Hey guys, how's
Hello.
it going?
It's great to hear from you. I'm so curious to hear about your beginner story. You hyped it up in the channel earlier.
Yeah, I don't know if it is really that funny, but I'll just maybe. So my beginner bike story starts right at the beginning of my riding experience, I'd say, because it was my driving test. My first one. And what happened is that we took the full 45 minutes to ride around the city and like everywhere, some country roads, some back roads, and it was all going perfectly. And I don't know if I told you about that already, but in the driving test in Germany, we have to do some MSF style challenges with a bike. I'd call it like a fast slalom, slow slalom.
Yeah.
Ride in a small circle, and I don't know, evade something, or like the guy will put up a traffic cone, and you have to go at it at around like 20 miles an hour and just do full lean, go around it, get back into your lane, and then stop. and that all worked perfectly well too. Like I had scraping pegs on the evasion thing on the SV650, and the thing with that bike was that it had an aftermarket gear indicator, and right on the day of the exam it broke. And I was a bit nervous, so when I stopped for the last challenge after 45 minutes, and the thing was the slow slalom, the traffic cones are like 2.5 meters apart, and you have to go through them at a maximum of 6 kilometers per hour. So use the clutch, use the foot brake, and just wave through them. And if you put your foot down, you do it again, and you have 3 tries. Well, I forgot to put the bike in first gear. I think I was in third, and I started doing the slow weaving.
Quite the clutch slip, yeah.
Yeah, and then the engine died on me, and I just tipped right over, fell to the ground, and it was literally, I just needed to do 2 traffic cones, and I would have gotten my license. But I tipped over, fell on the ground, and the whole thing was over.
Oh man,
bummer.
Yeah, it was great, because my driving teacher told me for that last exercise, he just said, "Dude, you did this extremely well. Don't fuck it up with this one, and you have your license." And on exactly that one, I fucked it up.
Oh, man.
You know, the funny thing is, when you fail a driving test in Germany, it actually automatically qualifies you for an American license. And then you're ready to go here, and you can just get whatever you want. Actually, you're already qualified to come ride the Turbo Busa Germany 2 boy. You're ready to go.
I took the...
Yeah, we need to cure you of all that ZX14 simping you were doing earlier anyways. We gotta get you on Turbo Busa train, so...
ZX12 is
Oh, ZX12, that's even worse. I'm sorry.
Oh, man.
All right, man. Well, thank you so much for the story. I appreciate it.
No problem, guys.
All
Have
right,
a nice
later.
one. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Hey there, Dragon Cowboy. You're on the Yamcast. How's it going?
So, I have a couple of interesting stories depending on what you consider my first experience in motorcycling.
Okay.
Because I actually started on an ATV, and then I moved on to 2 wheels.
So you transferred some of those ATV skills to 2 wheels, and hopefully subsequently hilarity ensued, right?
Yeah.
What happened?
Okay, so for the ATV, I was around like 12, I remember. So my father and my uncle had bought this sport ATV, this YFZ 450. It had around like 60 horsepower.
Jeez.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay, so I was given like a couple spins on some dunes we actually used to take it to. And in the middle of the dunes, there was this log covered in sand that basically created a ramp. And seeing it, I just went for it. And I also didn't notice that the log was at like an angle. So I basically rolled over, the bike went flying, and to be honest, I wasn't wearing that much protection. I was basically wearing a helmet, some gloves, and Crocs.
Awesome.
The ultimate safety device, Crocs.
Yes.
So I basically flipped the bike back over, went back home, and never spoke to anybody about it.
I think that's a common theme in embarrassing beginner rider stories. It happens to you, and you're like, no one is ever going to know what just happened.
It's
and
just
then you
instantly
sweep it
repressed.
under the rug. Yeah.
Yeah, because the bike was basically just like covered in sand, and nobody
Go back home wearing your Crocs,
anything
and the
about
bike's
it.
covered in sand. It's like, what happened? Nothing. Don't worry about it.
I had some fun.
Yeah, I just was
you know.
making some donuts. Yeah, no. So actually, my first experience on 2 wheels almost went the same way, but it was on like an MT-03 my father had bought for himself, that I took it out like without telling him. So I took it out one day on like a rainy day, and there was this weird U-turn. So I basically began turning, the bike spun up, and I wide opened the throttle.
Yes, you're trying to do a sick slide, dude. Get those skiddies.
Yes.
So did you low side, did you high side? What happened?
No, I was determined to not letting it drop, so I put my foot down, and I was like doing donuts on like, this bike was like
those Crocs had never seen action like that before.
No, on this one I was wearing some protection because I was on the street. So I was basically doing donuts until I managed to get it right up. So I went back home, put it away, and never used it again.
Man, I will tell by that roundabout, everyone probably thought you were really cool, though. I'll tell you that. It's like, look, this guy's a stunt rider. Look at him go.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that's awesome, Dragon Cowboy. I appreciate you telling us that story.
Thanks.
All right. Thanks, man. See ya. Hey there, Chex Mex. You're on the Yamcast. How's it going?
Hey, how's it going? This is my little story of my actually just happened a couple days ago.
Ooh,
nice.
Very fresh, recent.
Yeah,
like it.
Yeah, very fresh. So I'm doing like a low speed right turn after a stop sign, and I know in the MSF course they told us to look where we're going, and I was kind of worried about a car, you know, like taking kind of a wide turn.
Mm-hmm.
Was worried about the car that I was about to run into. I kept staring at it, and I realized I'd hit the throttle too hard, grabbed the brake, dropped the bike, and bent my handlebars, snapped the peg mount off.
Ooh.
And now it's in the shop for about a week.
Damn.
And I just got it. It's my third day owning it.
Oh, dude. What kind of bike?
It's a Kawasaki ER6N.
Oh, cool. Yeah, that's a good beginner bike. But you know, it's a bummer sometimes how you have like a low speed drop and you can break a bunch of shit. You know, it's crazy.
Yeah.
I've heard that happen to a lot of folks where you have like a 2 mile per hour drop and then you're like, well, I got to replace like 5 different things. So it's a bummer.
Yeah. Yeah, I was actually really surprised, like what it, you know, like even from such a, you know, slow speed, you could mess it up. But I guess that's more reason to practice your slow speed maneuvers in the parking lot first. And but yeah, I'm still gonna ride. Still having a great time. Still love it. So
yeah. Don't worry about it, man. I've dropped so many
up.
bikes in my time. I mean, Spite literally dropped a bike today.
Yep.
We were out filming with the DRZ, and I looked over, and I just hear on comm, down she goes, and the DRZ's on its side. I was like, what just happened?
I wasn't even, like, moving, too. I just dropped it.
No, because you were being an idiot, and you were in neutral, just bouncing up and down, and then you just let the bike fall over. I was like, all right, cool.
Cool, man. Well, yeah, that's just my little story. Just want to let everyone know, hey, if you fall, don't give up, man.
All right, I love that. Good energy. All right, thank you, Chex Mex. I appreciate it. Wanna Daddy, you're on the Yamcast. How's it going?
Hey, what's going on, fellas?
Wait a minute. Your name isn't Wanna Daddy. It's Juan Daddy.
Juan Daddy. Yep.
Oops, I said
I've called
Wanna
him before,
Daddy.
but I usually go by Cody. You guys got me by my username now.
All right,
So.
there we go. What's your beginner rider story?
So I have 2 short stories about the same bike. It was my first street bike that I got when I was 16, which was quite a while ago now. So I grew up riding dirt bikes and whatnot, and when I turned 16, I got my motorcycle permit.
Nice.
And my dad bought me a 1981 Suzuki GS 1000, which is a perfect beginner bike.
Wow. That's a weird choice, but okay.
Well, he got a good deal on it. And it was in nice shape. Anyways, you know, kind of a lot of weight and a lot of power compared to a dirt bike. So, also at that time, well, actually, I got that bike at 16, and then these stories happened about a year later, but I didn't ride the bike much at that time. I was kind of scared of it a little bit, to be honest. Once I got to my senior year in high school, 2 guys in my class, and I grew up in a small town in North Dakota. There's like 20 people in my class, you know. They both bought brand new Harley Sportster 1200s. So they were like very competitive about like, oh, our bike is better than yours, or our bikes are better than yours. And yeah, they were, you know, nicer and more expensive, but I would always
them,
boast.
didn't you?
Oh yeah, obviously.
Yeah, high school kid, you had to. You had to show them what's good.
Yeah, and they never ever beat me in a straight line or on corners really. But so I was riding with them one day. It was in the springtime. It was kind of chilly out, maybe like in like the low 40s. And we rode for like an hour and a half, and then we pulled into my house, and we would always talk shit to each other, you know. Yep. And we pulled into the house, and I put my leg down, and my leg was so cold from riding for so long that it just like buckled, and the bike just like fell right over on my leg.
Oh man!
And they just started laughing at me, and they helped me get the bike back up, and it was leaking gas all over the place, and just because it's an old bike.
Yeah. You're
So
like, it's an
kinda
80s
funny.
Suzuki. It just does that. Whatever.
It just if you tilt it more than like 5 degrees, it's going to leak something. So the other thing with that bike too, it was a very cold-blooded bike. You had to choke it real hard just to even get it to start, and then you had to have the choke. You had to do this weird thing because the choke was kind of in between like the handlebars where the key would go. You had to pull the choke out really hard and then hit the starter button with your elbow just to even get it to start.
Wow.
Anyways, once it warmed up, it was fine. But if it wasn't warmed up, it was no good. Like it would, you had to make sure that choke was just like yanked all the way out. Anyways, I went to a friend's house. I was hanging out there for a couple hours. I took the bike over there, and then I got on the bike to go home, and I pulled up to a stop sign. It was next to this girl I liked, their house, and like her and a bunch of her friends were sitting in their yard in lawn chairs.
Oh no!
And they were like, "Cool bike," and I was like, "Yeah." So I go to rev it up, and this thing is not warmed up yet. So I go to rev it up, and it's just like, it just dies. And they all start laughing at me, and they're like, "Do you know how to ride that thing?" And I was like, "Yeah, I didn't kill it. It's just not warmed up." I was trying to explain it, and then I just like started it and just got out of there as fast as I could.
Yep.
That is another common beginner theme, is just trying to impress people, and then just shit goes wrong,
And then you just want to smoke bomb and leave.
Yeah.
I was going to try to do a burnout or something, and it wasn't warmed up, and I gave it some throttle. It just died.
Oh my god.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, but yeah, those are some couple embarrassing stories on that bike.
Yeah, for those of you at home listening, don't ever try to impress people when you're a beginner rider, because something's going to go wrong. Either your bike just dies, or you burn out, or you do an impromptu wheelie, Something always happens, yeah. So thank you, Cody. I appreciate it.
Yep. All right. Well, hey, you guys have a good one.
All right, see ya. Hey there, Benz. This is the second time we're trying you again. How's it going?
Hi, please say this works.
It works
there
now.
we go.
Oh, thank. I had my PC connected, and you wouldn't believe my face when I saw you couldn't hear me.
Yeah. Well, now we can hear you, so tell us your story.
Right. So I'm in the UK, and I got my CBT last year when I was 18.
That's the scooter license, right? That's not the motorbike license, right?
Yeah, the 125
Yeah.
license. So I got myself a KTM RC 125 because I saw your videos on the RC 390, and it looked really nice. So I ordered some oil for the bike, and it was taking a while to come. So I did, and I decided to take my bike out, even though it looked very low on oil. So I come to this 70-mile-an-hour sort of A road, and I'm going up the gears, and it just cuts out. I think, oh God, what's happened? So I'm stuck on the side of the road. I had to wait for a van for 2 hours. I send it in thinking it's just a blown battery. Turns out the engine exploded.
Oof.
And now I have a piece of piston with me.
Oh my god.
So not too great. Luckily, it's all fine now. Only cost me around $350 to get a new engine, which wasn't bad.
Wow,
But
that's really not too
not
bad. I guess
the great-
125s are just quickly interchangeable on those parts, huh?
Yeah. Just drop a new engine in there.
But 1 month of having a bike and the engine exploding was not the most confidence-inspiring thing.
Hey man, that's just
So-
KTM things. I don't know what to tell you.
I know. Things have gone wrong. I tried to do the chain adjustment, and I bought one of those tools, but the chain guard cover sort of blocks it off. Tried to take it off, and I ended up taking half the fairings of the bikes off to get to it.
Wow, that seems excessive.
I think it was a bit excessive. I thought
Yeah.
my process was, oh look, this thing gets. Let's just take more bolts off.
Yeah,
Didn't end up well.
that's what I end up doing, and then I realized that I'm swimming in bolts I didn't need to take off, and the bike's falling apart.
I can attest to that, having taken off
And,
the
it
entire
gets-
air filter assembly on the ZH2 when I didn't have to. That's me right there. Still making mistakes. Still learning.
Oh, but that's my story on my failure with beginning of bikes. But hopefully it gets better.
Yeah, I think it will, but that's a good one. You can just say, yeah, I've already blown up a bike, so how much worse can it get, right?
I know. Not much worse.
Yeah. All right, Benz, thanks for the story, man. I appreciate it. Hey there, Otter Plus. You're on the Yamcast. How's it going?
Oh, hey, there you go.
Yeah.
Hey, I got a story sort of along the lines of German A2 boy. It was during my testing of my MSF.
Wonderful. I love these stories.
It wasn't too bad. It wasn't too bad. I failed the initial test. Why did I fail the initial test? I was going too slow for a couple courses, a couple sections, so they failed me. So we did the retest. A couple days later, this is the day before Thanksgiving, so it's already dark by like 4:30, but we're out there at 5 o'clock, no lights. Go to do the quick stop. I've been psyching myself up about getting up to speed, hitting that 20-mile-per-hour mark. And I was focused so hard on that by the time came, I forgot to zip up my jacket sleeves. And it's first jacket, oversized icon like everybody gets. And I hit the threshold, go to slam on the brakes, all in, all down, and my sleeve slips past my glove, cranks the throttle.
What? Really?
So I'm on full rear brake, I'm on full front brake, and the back end starts getting squirrely, and I'm thinking, shit, this is my retest. I'm going to have to go through the entire thing again if I fail this for this. Well, I kept it up. I kept the two wheels down, kept it upright. I wound up stopping about 35 feet past the mark we were supposed to stop. To be honest, I think my instructor was just so surprised that I didn't yeet myself into the field that he just said, you know what? Screw the boundary infraction. You passed.
Yeah, he probably saw you slipping and sliding on the rear and the front wheel. He was like, you know what? That's pretty good bike control. That's fine. You get your license.
Scared the shit out of me. But I haven't dropped. I've had my bike for a little over a week now. Haven't dropped it. Correction. I have dropped it in my yard.
Oh.
The previous guy that lived in my house used to park his Trans Am in the back, so I have these major ruts that run the entire length, and I park underneath my deck. So I turn it off in the alleyway, go to walking in. Well, I'm wearing riding shoes that don't have any type of grip underneath. I hit one of these ruts, and tire bike falls over. No damage. Got a little bit muddy, a little bit of mud on my turn signal. Bent my brake lever just a little bit. Other than that, it was good.
What kind of bike do you have?
My boring CBR 500R says hi.
Oh
man.
No. Man. Well, I got nothing good to say about that bike, but I'm glad it's working for you.
As of right now, I don't have much good to say myself because out of the 2 weeks that I've owned it, I've only been able to ride it for one. I got a flat last Saturday. And I'm currently waiting for tires to be delivered.
Oh, that's a bummer.
So,
well, as far as I know, the stimulus checks are coming today or tomorrow, so that's tire money right there, right? There
that's
you go.
Already spent. That's already spent along with levers, LEDs.
I feel like that was gone long ago.
That's what happens when you get a bike, man. Money just disappears. It's like living with a meth head.
Literally.
I had a spreadsheet of upgrades from the moment I got it home and registered.
Oh, you're one of those guys too. I did the same thing.
I got levers due in tomorrow. I got frame sliders due in Monday.
Nice.
I got my LEDs due in next week. So I'm only doing stuff that I absolutely feel like I should do. Yeah. I don't like halogen bulbs. I need to get an exhaust, not because of sound, because it's a little 471 P twin. It's nothing. But I wear a size 13, so I'm resting my heel on that exhaust every time I ride. Yeah. So got to do something about that.
Yeah, that's a fair functional upgrade. Yeah.
So, all right, but you guys have a good night.
All right, man. Thanks for the story. See ya.
No problem. Bye.
Screw it. We're just going to tell him anyways. Tell me your embarrassing. I don't know if I've heard your embarrassing story.
So I have one that is like an embarrassing maintenance story, which those have just started to stack up for me lately.
Same.
They just start stacking up.
I'm like, I've been riding motorcycles for how long? And like somehow my embarrassing stories are getting higher now in my later years of riding. Okay, weird.
So my probably my favorite embarrassing story was I was on my street 750. It's my first Harley.
Yeah.
And I pull up to a stoplight, and there's a Harley guy, like big old Harley, dude on a massive, This is, I forget which bike it was, but it was some, wide Dynaglide, Megalo, something or other.
Yeah.
And he's like, oh, shit, that's one of those new Harleys, huh? He's like, that's kind of small, isn't it? And I was like, well, I mean, it's making 75 horsepower.
Yeah.
He's like, no, it ain't making that much power. And, I was like, well, I mean, yours probably isn't making that much either.
Yeah.
And so we I didn't really want to beat him, but I also, I had that like competitive urge. I was like, come on, little bike, you can do it.
Yeah.
And so I get on the gas a little bit faster than normal, and the front wheel starts lifting on this bike.
Really?
Yeah, because I revved it up a little bit, and I let the clutch go.
Oh.
And these Rev X engines, not like the Sportster, you actually can wheelie them.
Yeah.
And I learned that the hard way. And I lifted the wheel up, and then I slammed it back down.
Yeah.
And by the time I got to the next stoplight, I was going probably, I definitely left him in my dust for the little bit that I could.
Yeah.
And then I came squealing into the stop at the next light.
Yeah.
And I ended up about like 10 feet past the line.
He was like, what the hell is this guy doing?
I just kind of back it back up, look over to him and like, oh, well.
Oh, that's a good one. So my embarrassing story, this was many, many years ago, before I even had an inkling to ride motorcycles. A buddy of mine had a scooter. He had a little red Vespa, and he came to visit me over at my place. And I'd never ridden a motorized two-wheeled vehicle at that point in my life. This was a long time ago. And he was like, oh, just jump on it. He was like, it's a twist throttle. You'll be fine. And I was like, well, I know how to drive manual cars. Like, how hard can this be, right? For some reason, I got on this scooter, and I literally just whiskey throttled it into a wall. I don't know, I still to this day don't really know what the hell happened. I sat on the scooter, and he's like, just twist and go. I was like, cool. I twisted it, I started going, I was like, oh shit, and I just twisted, kept going, I didn't stop, and I just bonked into the wall at like 15 miles an hour. And he's like, dude, what are you doing? And I was like, I don't know what happened. And it's funny, because at that point, he was like, maybe these aren't for you. And maybe he was right. Maybe they're not for me. So yeah, my first legitimate experience on a motorized two-wheel vehicle outside of like a pocket bike in my neighborhood growing up. I whiskey throttled the scooter into a wall.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
It's a very Yammie Noob thing to do, I think. Yeah.
I think eventually that will be the Gixxer 250's fate.
I think so. Yeah. No, at this point, it's going to be a friggin' trail muncher, Like, it's going to just be a monster dual sport bike.
How much do you want to bet we're not going to be able to kill that motorcycle?
We're not. We're going to have to give it away or something. We're not going to be able to kill it.
No,
it's too powerful. So. All right, let's start the meme contest. All right, everybody, that wraps up our call-in section. We're now going to move on to the meme portion of our podcast. If you are listening to the podcast on Spotify or any other podcasting app, you need to head over to YouTube to see the full audio-visual experience for these beautiful, beautiful memes. Let's get into it. Alrighty, everyone, welcome to the meme portion of the podcast. This week, we asked our wonderful meme makers to make a meme out of me splooting on the ground after not installing the air filter on the ZH2.
Yes. Let me actually pull up the raw clip. This one's a good one. So pull this up, and so this is the original meme that we created.
I wasted like 40 minutes of my life. No. It was in the inlet. It's never in the inlet.
It's never there. Why is it in here? Why isn't it in where that fucking airbox is?
It helps to read instructions, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Oh, God. I don't have to put it back together. Fuck's sake. That was a great moment.
That was a great moment.
I'm so happy Whitney got that on camera, because I didn't think she did, and then I saw it back. I was like, fuck, that's so funny. It looks like something out of The Office or something. It's hilarious.
Yes. It was great.
Yeah.
And so we asked the guys to meme that moment up because it was so memeable. And first off, we have Shippers, who made a video for us.
Hey there, Cody. You're on the Yamcast. How's it going?
Hey, what's going on, guys?
What can we do for you?
So, I would like to ask, between the R3 and the Ninja 400, which one would you prefer?
I just wasted like 40 minutes of my life. No. Nice.
I like that.
That's really good. Yeah. That's funny. Yeah, that is how it feels sometimes.
Yep. Just we can make. I mean, we made an exhaustive video. Ninja 300 or R3.
Like 28 minutes long.
Yeah.
And people are like, I need to know your opinion. I'm like, I've rendered it completely and thoroughly.
Go watch the video.
Yeah.
So, quality here for shippers.
Pretty high qual. Put a whole video together. Fun little voiceover bit. How about an 8?
An 8.
Yeah.
Funniness.
Got a good chuckle. I think an 8.5.
An 8.5.
Yeah.
Starting strong today. 16.5. Phantom 10792 is up next, and I believe he is just a picture.
Guess who's not losing another Grom Cup? That's funny.
I mean, this is very true.
Yeah.
So,
I'm trying to. So, is that like you're about to like beat me up or something?
I think it's I already did.
Oh, you already did. Yeah,
Yep.
yeah. That's funny.
Which actually reminds me, I forgot one. I forgot Bad Asslers. He submitted one. I gotta dig for it again.
Okay.
We'll make sure it's in there.
We'll find it.
It's not in the video. Okay. So Phantom 10792 quality.
Quality. It is just a quick little image, huh, with the text on it. I'd say a 5.
A 5.
Yeah.
Funniness.
7.
7. Yeah. A1 Aces is next with, I believe, another photo. Nope, and a video here. Scroll back just a wee bit. This is the one that was itsy bitsy.
Hey, H2. Yam crashed and burned reading me earlier. Toche, your exhaust stink.
So it was I'm trying to understand this one. So it was a guy in the Kawasaki R&D, and he came up and he said, "Toche, your exhaust sucks."
Yeah, after somebody said that
I crashed and burned. Okay.
I guess ZH too much power and
Toche bad.
Toche
but where's
bad?
the sploot?
I'm not sure.
The whole thing was to use the video, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
It was not there. I'm not so sure.
I might have to disqualify this one. I didn't see the usage of the situation. That was the whole thing. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. We got to rate this one kind of low, unfortunately, then.
Yeah. Okay, so that one is for quality.
Do we want to just disqualify it because it didn't even use the meme?
I think it was
a different meme.
I think we disqualify that one.
Just say zeros. It's disqualified.
I'm sorry, A1 Aces. You'll have to try again next time.
Brutal on the Yamcast. No mercy.
Next up, we have Steven with a...
I always love how like some guys on the Discord just like have a first name.
Yep,
you know?
It's just Steven.
Yeah. This is a picture of me, and it says, when you waste 40 minutes on something that took 2 minutes to read and avoid. It's very true.
Yes.
Yeah. But again, didn't use the sploot.
Yep. He basically made a meme surrounding it.
Sort of, yeah.
Like, that's just the face of pain.
Yeah. But it's not even that much of a face of pain. It's like you just kind of caught me off guard or something, you know?
And what bike are you in front of? I
think that's my old MT-09 or FC-09. So this is a very old image of me. Yeah. Before I had the common decency to keep my head shaved. Bummer. Yeah.
So I'm not sure about this one either. It's a little bit brutal today.
I say disqualification. I did not see the sploot. I did not see the video. Didn't see an image from it. Sorry. Disqual. The whole thing was to make a meme about the video.
Yup. Bit savage today. Up next, we got the Dark Red Fox.
When you get all the tubes and wires put back where they go and all of your plastics are back on, but you realize the carburetor is still on your workbench and just death. Yeah, that's what we want to see. A reaction of, that makes sense with the text. I think we've all been there where you put something back together and you're like, oh, fuck.
This one super key thing.
I literally did that with my race bike the other day. I almost put it back together. I put all the plastics back on. I had it literally ready to go. And I turned around and I saw the ram air that goes between the fairing stay and the body. I was like, oh no. I was like, oh no. I was like, I gotta undo everything. So I had to take all the plastics off, fish it in there, put it back on. I was like, fuck. It was funny because I was with my girlfriend and she was like, oh, are you almost done? I was like, yeah, you just got one more D-link and we can head out. And then I turned around and I was like, fuck. I was like, give me like 30 more minutes. I'm sorry.
You can never make a plan after you start a project in the garage.
I've told her that before. I was like, look, if I'm doing something on a bike, I'm going to give you like a window of when I'm going to be ready to do something else. Yep. I can't give you a specific time.
Whenever I'm talking to my girlfriend and I'm like, okay, I'm going out in the garage. I need to work on this. It's probably going to take me about an hour. She's like, okay, I'll see you in 3 hours.
Yeah.
I'm like, that's fair enough.
You're like, that is warranted and fair. Fine. Yeah. So my girlfriend knows at this point. It's like, okay, you'll be back at like 9:30. Okay, that's great. I'm like, I'll see you in a bit.
So for Dark Red Fox here, quality.
Text on image, just like the other one. Let's give it a 5.
A 5. But funniness factor, this one's good.
Pretty good. I think an 8.
An 8.
Got a good chuckle out of me.
13. Second place. Moving on up, we've got the Sativa Wizard.
Oh, what other way to put this, but like gives you a boner?
Yeah.
No.
Nice. That's a great reaction, Cap, from Whitney, just being like, don't know what that is, but just gives you a boner. That's very useful to use for other things. I love that slow-mo we got of you just gently kissing the camera. That was funny.
Gotta do more stuff like that, just for shits and giggles. Okay, so for Sativa Wizard quality.
Pretty high qual, pulled from 3 different videos. How about a 7.5?
A 7.5. And funniness.
Solidly funny. How about a 8.5?
An 8.5.
Yeah.
That is going to be 16.
Whoa.
Just outside of first place. Next up, Dilly Willy.
Says that feeling when the weather outside is shit, so you can't ride your bike and just death.
Yup.
Yeah. Yeah, that was pretty much all of February this year.
Yes.
It was just garbage. Garbage weather. We finally have good warmth and normal spring weather again, but my God.
And the one day we go out, my DRZ's like, you thought you were gonna ride, huh?
it just slit its throat in front of you, like, no, don't die. No, not like this.
It's like, please just let me die. Why do you keep bringing me back?
It's like that dude's Virago. It's like, dude, it wants to die. You should probably just let it die.
Oh.
No, we will the DRZ back to life.
It is going to make a resurgence. Okay, so for Dilly Willy, quality here.
Just text on screen again, right?
Mm-hmm.
I think it's a 5. We've been giving him 5s all night long.
Funniness?
Like a 4.
A 4.
Yeah.
That'll be a 9. So before we move on to someone who's actually in competition, we do have German A2 Boy. He did submit one a little late, but it is still in the video. And I am bummed that I forgot Bad Assler.
So German A2 Boy says, go play with the neighbor's kid, and he's just dead. What is this trying to say?
I'm not sure.
I think I'm missing something here.
It's like you're just...
I'm just laying.
Yeah.
Not
very fun?
Maybe not just fun. I might not understand this one.
Yeah. I think that's one of German A2 Boy's lesser submissions here.
Yeah.
So quality?
I think a 5.5.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And funniness?
It didn't get a chuckle out of me, unfortunately.
I don't understand it.
I don't understand.
I think the European humor is just too high.
It's
too much for me.
It's too evolved, yeah. How about a 4?
A 4.
Yeah.
Okie doke. Now that is going to be... next up is going to probably be Bad Assler. I have to find it here. Give me a second, boys.
Sure.
Yep. This one's Drifting Fish.
Okay.
Let me bring it back into picture-in-picture for you boys to see this one.
I just wasted like 40 minutes of my life. No.
Nice.
That's a good one.
That is definitely how I felt after that one. That video has the spiciest like-dislike ratio, if I remember correctly.
Oh, it's got a very spicy one.
Yeah. People really did not like the fact that we said that.
I mean, they didn't watch to the end. If they
No, they watched it and they're just like, I don't like you, whatever. And just, yeah. You know. That's it.
It was just they read the title and they read the thumbnail and then they downvoted.
Yep.
And they left their comment.
Yes. Very important. Got to make yourself known.
Which one's spicier, the Himalayan one or the Honda one?
The Himalayan one for sure. The Himalayan is one of the spiciest videos we put out. I think it has like a 60-40 split.
Yeah, that
it's
one's
bad.
rough. That was real rough.
It's bad.
So, quality here for Drifting Fish.
High qual, I gotta say.
Yeah.
Nice little situation there. Really tightly edited, which I like. I appreciate. I want to give it a 9.
A 9.
Yeah.
And funniness.
Got a good chuckle out of me.
Yeah.
I think an 8.
An 8.
Yeah.
So that'll be a 17.
17. Number 1.
However, Drifting Fish...
is he on a cooldown?
He is on a cooldown. He cannot win.
So I guess it's the shippers?
It's going to go to shippers.
All right, shippers is first place.
I believe there is one more. Let me double check. I don't want to leave anybody out.
Sure.
I again apologize, guys. It's been hard for me to keep track of all of this stuff. That's all the ones that I have in my DMs. Okay, so we are good to announce our winners. So,
all right, so first place is shippers for this week.
Second place is going to go to the Sativa Wizard.
Nice.
So that is.
And then, as we mentioned, Drifting Fish was not eligible. And then looks like the Dark Red Fox was third place.
Yes, it was.
All right. So we had a couple DNFs this week.
Yup. That's
real bummer. You guys got to use the thing we put up as part of the meme.
That's the whole point.
Can't be tangentially related. Got to use the thing. Very important. All right, guys. Thank you so much for joining us for another episode of the Yamcast. It's been a great one. Be sure to tune in next week. We'll have some fun memes and fun tomfoolery for you. We'll catch you in the next one. See you later. Hey, you adorable little squid. Thanks for watching the video. Why don't you click on this one right here and keep watching? Don't worry. I'll wait. Just like this. Click the video. Do it now.